update for culture and media. And let's start with that question. Is it going to make a difference?
Well, it will make a difference. Obviously, we've had an unregulated Wild West on the online internet space, on the social media platforms for too long now. And in fact, one of my main criticisms is that it's taken the government nearly 4 years to actually bring forward this bill. And in that time, there's been a huge amount of damage caused to young people, to people losing money through scams, to online Russian disinformation and other problems that has caused as well. So it will make a difference. But look, I'll look at the bill when it gets published later today. But there are concerns from children's charities and others that it won't go far enough in terms of some of the regulation and sanctions and how that can be implemented. But that also I do fear that the government is going down slightly the wrong track in relation to prescribing and drawing up a sort of list of things that they're going to say are harmful, rather than allowing Ofcom to take a systems-wide, a sort of policy-wide approach to these platforms. Because it's not just about the individual content that may be under scrutiny, but it's about the impact of lots of that sort of content coming to you because of the algorithms, the way the business models of these companies work. So I hope that the government isn't going to go down the wrong track on that balanced argument.
Lucy, I think you've got a really good point here, and you talk about those algorithms and how these sites and media has a mind of its own, things that we don't even understand, what appears on our social media, that we're not aware of. It's so complicated. My point is this: Ofcom, are they up with it? Are they up to it? Have they got the staff? Have they got the resources for this? The industry changes all the time. And I say this because Ofcom's time is basically taken up by professional moaners who wake up wanting to be offended and are tied up with all of this. And this is really important stuff. This is important stuff that is harming people and harming children and exploiting people to such an awful, horrible degree. And all people care about, or they seem to care about, is, whether Coronation Street is accurate or not.
Well, you make a really good point, Eamon. Ofcom are recruiting another 300 staff to do this task. It'll be a big new part of Ofcom's remit, a massive new part of Ofcom's remit. Could we have set up an entirely new regulator? Possibly so, as you say. I mean, one of the real concerns that I and others who are scrutinising and looking at these issues have is this sort of David and Goliath situation that we have here, because is one thing regulating GBNews, is quite another trying to regulate a company as wealthy and as powerful as Facebook, based in another country, with all of the lawyers and all of the money that they could throw at that problem. So there is an issue here of sort of asymmetry, where we've got a small British kind of regulator trying its very best to regulate the policies and the impact of some of these giant social media companies. So that's why we've been calling for a long time for tougher sanctions, criminal sanctions, and for the regulator to have the resources and the powers and the teeth that it needs to really be able to take effect of some of the powers that it might be given under this bill.